Hey everyone, welcome to the best U.S. Mint news channel on YouTube. I'm Son of a Silver Stacker. Today's date is the 30th of March, 2025, and in this video, we're going to be talking about the American Innovation Coin that drops a week from this Tuesday. But before we do that, if you're new here, don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. We're trying to reach a bazillion subs. It's a tremendous number. Not sure exactly how big it is, though, but I'm pretty sure it's ginormous. Also, we're always live and never edited and always unscripted. I never know what I'm not going to say. Now, over here to moneymetals.com. to check out where the live spot prices ended the week. All right, so yeah, look at that. Gold, another all-time high. See, how many all-time highs have we already hit for 2025? It's remarkable. And where do you think gold's going to stop? I don't think anybody knows. In fact, if they ultimately revalue gold in Fort Knox, wow, right? Yeah, look at the silver end of the week at 34.33, platinum at 997.95, palladium at 1,007, even Steven and Dr. Copper end of the week at 513. And remember, that's not only a strategic metal for the green movement, it's also a war metal. That's right. That you remember in 43, 44, they took copper out of the Lincoln cent and replaced it with steel because they needed it, right? So you're looking here at an American Silver Eagle, an in-stock American Silver Eagle, that is. The premium is $6.39 for a quantity of 1 through 39. You'll pay $40.72, and they will buy them back for $35.89 each, and that is $1 over the spot price, which means to me they want them back badly. Now over here, the Mint's product schedule, and here we're looking at April 8th. That's the American Innovation Coin featuring the state of Michigan. That's right, the Michigan Auto Assembly line. That's incredible. And actually, I got to tell you, folks, this particular coin series for this year is quite remarkable. I think that 2025 has the most beautiful coin designs for the American Innovation Coin Program so far of the whole series for the year as a whole. Now, there might be one or two from other years that are stunning, but as I said, as a whole, this year is definitely taking the cake. I love this design here. Let's check it out a little bit more in detail. There it is. Yeah, that's the auto assembly line right there. And that is Michigan, and I believe it's after Henry Ford's. And I got to tell you, folks, this is incredible. Product limit of 8,900 for the 25 coin roll out of Philadelphia. But check this out for Denver. Yeah, 78.50, a little bit less there. And then obviously you're looking at the 100 coin bag from Philly at 36.50, and the same for the Denver 34.50. You look at that, bam. So Denver is not producing as many coins as the Philadelphia Mint. And honestly, this is not a highly produced, a high mintage series as it is. I mean, if you think about it, I mean, how many of those bags are opened? How many of the rolls are actually opened? And, individually put in albums or books or folders or sold online. I would imagine most of them, the mainstay of these products, are still in the rolls. Now, let's go over here to Coin World. There's an article by Paul Gilks. It says here, Michigan organizations to host launch event for Innovation Dollar. And I thought to myself, what? Michigan organization? Where's the United States Mint in all of this? So this is from Paul Gilks, Coin World, published March 27, 2025. And we're March 30, so just a few days ago now. And there's the coin. It is a beautiful coin. I really love it. And, this auto assembly line really changed the course of history. Not necessarily for our automobile industry. I mean, yeah, that's part of it. But really World War II as well. And we'll get to that in a minute. The American Innovation Michigan Dollar is scheduled for numismatic release April 8th. That's a week from this Tuesday, folks. All right, a public release ceremony for the 2025 American Innovation Michigan Dollar, I'm going to slow down here and take it too fast, is scheduled for April 8th at the Detroit Historical Museum. The museum is located at Wayne State University, 5401 Woodward Avenue in Detroit. Doors open at 10 a.m. Eastern Time with a brief ceremony at 10:30 and a coin exchange to follow. How cool is that? According to Michigan State Numismatic Society. And what's interesting is that this coin drops on what day? April 8th, right? That's a week from this Tuesday. And they're having the ceremony the same day, and they have coins there already. So the Mint may have hooked them up with some early drops. All right, according to Michigan State Numismatic Society Representative Steve Beta, the public event is being hosted by Motor City's National Heritage Area, the Michigan History Foundation, and the Michigan State Numismatic Society. You don't see anything associated with the United States Mint here, and that's pretty typical, actually, because the United States Mint really focuses on those American women quarters, and I'll show you that here in a minute as well. The U.S. Mint is working with the host to provide coins. I think I already said that. I didn't even read this yet. I just thought anyway, which occurs on the same date as the circulation quality coins is to be offered on the Mint's website in 100 coin bags and 25 coin rolls from the Denver and Philadelphia mints. Due to anticipated demand, we are probably limiting the coin exchange to 1 coin per person, cash only, Biden said. And I don't think that's a bad idea. I think maybe at the end of the show you might be able to pick up a few more, but after that, probably not so much. None of the American Innovation dollars struck with the circulation quality finish will be released to the Federal Reserve for general circulation, and that's a bummer in the summer. Struck for numismatic sales only, they are priced at a premium above face value, and I think all that can change, folks, if you actually okay, so in Alaska, there was, I think, Elizabeth Petrovich. I probably got her first name wrong, but that was a Native American dollar that actually was released into circulation. That's right. A Native American dollar just a few short years ago was put into the wild in Alaska. And we can only thank the state legislative body for that, because if it wasn't for their action, they wouldn't have had that coin in circulation whatsoever. So I think it is possible to get these coins in circulation, but it has to do with the state legislative body for each one. Like, it would have to be to Michigan, right? So that's pretty incredible. Now, it says here, the 100 coin canvas bags, I sure like those canvas bags, from output at either Denver Mint or Philadelphia Mint will retail for $123.50 per bag, while each of the 25 coin roll from either facility is offered at $36.25 each. Now, if you are a fan of this program, you'll know since its inception, they really hadn't had a price increase, not once since 2018, right? It was initially offered at $34.50, and that was it. That's all. And now, well, obviously it's $36.25 here in 2025. And I do believe, folks, that regrettably, looking at the metal prices that we see here, that we're probably going to have another price increase for the clad. Maybe not necessarily the silver, but definitely the clad, because the United States Mint is losing money, not only on the American Innovation Coin Sets program, but really, ultimately, the annual sets. And I would expect a price increase for them as well. Now, it says here, household orders have a limit of 10 each. For each product option, the American Innovation Michigan Dollar reverse design features a 1930s era assembly line, where a team of auto workers lowers an automobile cab into place. The design was created by U.S. Mint Artistic Infusion Program designer Ronald D. Sanders and sculpted by U.S. Mint medallic artist John P. McGraw. All right, the common obverse design introduced in 2018 illustrates the Statue of Liberty. The design also includes a privy mark of a stylized gear representing industry and innovation. The gear rendering changes with each annual issuance and is assigned to a member of the Mint engraving staff. There it is. And we will be seeing the 250th anniversary for the semi-quincentennial on these American Innovation dollars next year. That's the year we have Steve Jobs on there. And wow, I got to ask a question about the Steve Jobs coin here in a second. So let's keep on keeping on. So here we are at assembly, all right? And this is how Ford's Willow Run assembly plant helped win World War II. And that's the Willow Run bomber plant, made aviation, industrial, and social history, along with the B-24s, new B-24s by the hour. Look at that. Probably the biggest room in the world. That's incredible. Let me go down here to the bottom. I think I highlighted it. There we go. It says here, Ford proved them wrong, not easily, nor entirely. During a 2.5-year production run in a 3.5 million square foot factory built over Willow Run Creek near, oh boy, I can't even say that, somewhere in Michigan. The massive plant, I know somebody does, and they're probably saying it in their head right now. The massive plant turned out 8,645 Liberators, right, versus 9,808 manufactured by 4 factories of Consolidated, Douglas Aircraft, and North American Aviation. Together, they produce more of the slab-sided behemoths than any American warplane ever. Yeah, look at that. 8,000 compared to 9,000. I would say that's the model of efficiency, folks. And that turned the tide of the war. I mean, it's just ridiculous. In fact, I think there was a quote by a Nazi officer, you know, when they shot down some American planes and they were looking at some of the cargo. There was, you know, the pilots, but there was like cakes and cards and cookies. And the Germans thought, man, if these guys are shipping over and they can lose planes for shipping cookies, we're done for, right? Because they had limited resources, unlike we here in the United States. So if that doesn't give you chicken skin, you better check your pulse. Now let's keep on keeping on. I got to talk about more stuff. So here we are at the United States Mint's webpage, and we're looking under press releases, and we don't see anything in regards to the American Innovation Coin Series at all. But we do see some stuff for the American Women Quarters. And check this out. This is the Smithsonian website. And it says here there's a Smithsonian events, and then it says historic change, celebrating the life and legacy of Juliette Gordon Low. And this quarter just dropped last week. And if you haven't got them in person, wow. It definitely, I think it's Susan B. Anthony 2.0, CHAG 2.0, and that's just the way it is. It's just the way the cookie crumbles. And it's really, the eyes are really interesting in certain light. It almost looks like a mask. Wow. All right, it says when? March 26, 2025 at 4 to 6 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. The sponsors here, now check this out. Postal Museum, Smithsonian American Women's History Museum. Co-sponsors, Smithsonian American Women's History Museum, United States Mint, Girl Scouts of USA, Postal Museum, and yeah, that's for the venue. Now remember, all of the sponsors here for this particular one were not, I don't think they were government agencies at all. So, like I said, it really is interesting to see where the United States Mint puts its resources and assets and what they think is valuable. Like I said, we wouldn't have won the war if it weren't for the assembly line. I think we should definitely be looking into that a little bit more closely. In fact, let me go ahead and say this. What is the Mint going to do, all right, for Steve Jobs? Is it going to be Apple computers, Apple iPhones? Is it going to be iPads? Are they going to, is it Apple that's going to be the main resource, the main driver for a Steve Jobs innovation celebration, right? Or is it going to be the United States Mint because he's Steve Jobs? And I do believe that this gentleman here will put the American Innovation Coin Series on the map more than any other coin. And like I said, this is also going to have the semi-quincentennial. I'll tell you, this is an American innovator unlike any other. I think there's an homage to him in Disney World when you go to Epcot. I think there's something called the Spaceship Earth, and it's about communication and computers and all that. And as you pass by his, I guess, area, he's in his garage working on a computer. Think about that. Multi-billion-dollar company started in a garage. So if that doesn't give you hope, I don't know what to think. I mean, just think about it. That's huge. Now, with that said, let's go to those plus ones. I've yammered for way too long. Now, but basically just covering all of what we covered so far in this show. We looked at that article by Paul Gilk saying, hey, all these events are going to happen in Detroit, and we're going to be honoring the American Innovation Coin here for the auto assembly line. And like I said, that is probably one of the most important innovations since it helped us win World War II. Otherwise, we'd probably also be speaking German at this point. Now let's go to the plus ones. Bingo. This is Proverb 21, 25, and 26. And it says here, the lust of the sluggard. And I had to look that up. I'm like, what? Sluggard. Sounds slow, right? Yeah, lazy. Will kill him, for his hands refuse to work. Ouch. I don't want, work's a 4-letter word, right? It says, number 26 says, all day long he will court lust, and the righteous one will give to him and not hold back. Now, basically what I think that means is a lazy person only has desire, but no accomplishments. They're gonna be like all day, like, yeah, and then I'm gonna, and then I'm gonna, and then I'm gonna, and then, no, dude, just do it. Like the Nike thing said. But a righteous person, however, accomplishes for himself. And this is the best part, my favorite part, the part I really like. He teaches others. Think about that. Teaching others. That's huge. That is really huge. And in the Bible, it does say stuff about teachers. So you better watch out. You better not cry. I'm telling you why. Teachers, yeah, they better get it straight. Or, yeah, not so good. But anyway, if you don't know, I probably should show you that passage in the Bible about teachers. Maybe that'll be my next one. Now, with that said, let's bounce over here to 395.99.9 KOI and Coin News Radio. This is Reminiscing, the Little River Band, and it is smooth, easy, and mellow. That's the way I like it. Now, with that said, I want to thank you all for coming. Thanks for dropping by. Don't forget to hit the like button. And if you do like what you hear and see, please sub the channel. It's absolutely free. And yeah, I made it back from New Smyrna Beach, the shark bite capital of the world, and I'm looking at all my appendages and extras, and everything is all still there. Thank goodness. Now, with that said, deuces, I'm out.